I absolutely think of times like when it was so cluttered in here, and usually the office is when it was the worst for me.
Okay.
Because the office was just kind of the catch-all. Oh, what do you want me to do with this? Just throw it in the office, right? So I absolutely can think of times where this area has, almost given me anxiety. Like I just don't want to be in here.
Welcome to Fireside Talks, where we help bring you from survival to stability.
Through skills, support, and the hope of Jesus Christ. So, have you ever felt like you've kind of got your life all together and you get this one room super clean and then you open that one closet?
Yeah.
Because that's where you put everything when you clean a room, is in the closet. So today we're going to talk about how space really kind of affects your mind, your stress, and really even your spiritual life. So if we are looking at some of this, we'll see in Matthew 6:21 that it says that value shows up in how we live our life. And that would include our space, our home, our apartment, our whatever, the area around us. So do you really think that the environment affects your mood or mindset?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, I can't think of how many times that, like, even in the room we're in right now, where I was like, I just don't want to be in there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because it was so cluttered. So, do you think there's a big difference between clutter and this is a conversation we have often because we have so many kids in our house. Mm-hmm. But do you think there's a difference between clutter and just, this is our life?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you can look at an item on whether or not, have a reason as to why you're keeping it, just having things around, papers laying everywhere, knickknacks everywhere, and nothing really having, meaning, that's clutter.
Sure. Tell me what you mean by meaning.
By meaning, I mean it has a connection. Someone gave it to you for a specific reason. It represents something to you. There's a story behind it.
Okay. So we kind of mentioned it in here. This room has been several things since we've owned this house. Mm-hmm. It's been a bedroom, an office, a dining room. It's just all kinds of stuff.
And a living room.
Yeah, well, game room.
Yeah.
At one point. But I absolutely think of times like when it was so cluttered in here. And usually the office is when it was the worst for me.
Okay.
Because the office was just kind of the catch-all. Oh, what do you want me to do with this? Just throw it in the office. Right? Mm-hmm. So I absolutely can think of times where this area has... almost given me anxiety. Like, I just don't want to be in here.
Yeah.
And I think that just makes a lot of times when we don't keep our space clean, it makes life more chaotic than it really needs to be. It makes everything feel harder.
Yeah.
So, if our space reflects what we prioritize, what does that say about our treasure?
And it says that what does it say?
Do not store up things on earth where moths and rust and thieves can destroy it, but to store up the things of heaven.
Yeah. So if you walk into someone's house and you look around, what kind of things do you see? It tells a lot about a person. Like in our home, you're going to right now see a lot of boxes. But you're gonna see kids' toys and stuffed animals. You're gonna see music instruments, but you're gonna see Bible verses and crosses on the wall. So it's going to reflect what's important to us. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, none of those things are important. You're also gonna find a couple bookshelves full of commentary and Bibles and religious type books as well.
Church history and all kinds of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're kind of leaning into the idea of cleaning and organizational and all of that kind of thing, what do you think are 2 or 3 simple habits that people can absolutely start today?
I think having a cleaning schedule, I think knowing in the back of your head, okay, I'm going to clean the living room on Mondays. I'm going to clean the dining room on Tuesdays. I'm going to clean the bathroom on Wednesdays, and doing those things, you can. That's the way I used to like to do it, is clean one room completely from head to toe each day of the week. I think another good habit to do is at the end of the day, doing a 5-minute cleanup, especially if you have kids, going around and everybody's picking up their toys and everything is set. Like, do that reset for the next day so you're not waking up the beginning of the day with everything's just crazy. Another thing that you could do would also be just having one chore day where you just clean the house from head to toe on one day. That's not exactly my favorite thing to do because you're knocking out a whole day. It's what we do in our family right now because that's what works. But we also have 5 kids, so they each take one room. They have to clean one room. It should only take an hour, but yeah.
Right.
And so the 3 things: doing a 5-minute reset, getting everything picked up the night before, cleaning one room a day so you're not overwhelmed in one whole day. And I guess the third thing was or just, so I don't know. Cleaning one room a day, or having one day a week that you're just trashed and cleaning everything. But I think another good habit would just be the mindset of putting things away right away. So instead of setting things down and making up a pile, I'm really bad about going through the mail, and so it sits in the mailbox because most stuff is paperless. And so most of the time there's nothing important in the mail. And so it sits there and sits there and sits there. And so it takes me 10 minutes just going through the mail. And then we have little pieces of mail all over the house. So I think putting things away and in their place right away is a good habit. So putting things away right away, cleaning one room a day, and doing a 5-minute reset, picking things up at the end of the day. 3 things.
So some people, one of the things you mentioned, people would call it the one-touch rule. Don't put it down, put it away.
Sure, yeah.
So what's the one chore that you avoid like it offends you?
Cleaning the bathtub. I hate cleaning the bathtub. I can never get it clean. And then I end up using all these bleach things that burn my nose, and I hate it.
Okay.
So if you have any tips, let me know in the comments.
On the bathtub.
Or give it to him.
That's usually how that goes. So if cleaning isn't just a physical task, but a spiritual one also, why do you think it is so hard for us to let stuff go?
Oh, because like I said at the beginning, we have these emotional attachments to these items. It's a very common thing. You go on vacation and you want to buy souvenirs, right? But these souvenirs they're just these little trinkets, and then you have all these little trinkets and all these little trinkets, and then when your mom and dad pass away, they have all these trinkets from all these vacations, and you remember those. But so now you have their trinkets and you have your trinkets, and you can't get rid of them. But they're not your mom and dad. They're not your family members. They're just memories. That's what I've tried to do. I try and take more pictures on our vacations, try and create albums, so then we can look through and relive those memories rather than just having more stuff around the house, just collecting dust and taking up space.
So if if we think of like the trinkets and some of the mementos and stuff, like one of the things I was thinking about today, because we are in the midst of packing up our house to put it on the market to sell. So one of the things I was thinking about today is like, we have a bin in the attic that I cannot remember the last time we opened it. But
Every time I walk past them, you're like, oh, what's in here? Oh, yeah, that's our memories.
right. But it's like our high school yearbooks.
No,
And
I don't know if those are in there anymore. I think we might have gotten rid of those.
I don't think we got rid of high school yearbooks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's just a handful of other
It's
things.
like my baby book.
Right.
I think. Or maybe it's Ruby's baby book. I don't know.
Sure. But I mean, we have some of these things.
Right.
Like, does having a bin in the attic with our high school yearbooks hurt anything? No, not really.
Sure.
But
we dwindled that down.
Sure.
Like we had so many things that had memories that we were just holding on to. We got one bin and we said, okay, we can't have all this stuff everywhere. We just don't have room for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's have one bin. What's most important to us that when we pull it out, we can tell a story.
Sure.
You know, that it creates that emotion and that memory that we can tell a story and, and put it back.
Yeah. And I guess one of the other things I think of is, and it's kind of big, but I've got that plaque that they gave me my senior year of high school because our football team broke all kinds of records. Mm-hmm. We broke all kinds of school records, most wins in school history and playoffs and all this other stuff. And like that would be one of those things that it really doesn't mean anything to me now, but I have a hard time getting rid of it. So, like, I don't feel like it's hurting us to have it, but how do we decide what is worth keeping?
What do you...
Like when we get to that kind of stuff, how do we decide what's worth keeping?
You just have to wrestle with it yourself. I have so many, and as we were packing up, I have so many paintings. I love to paint. But what do you do if you love to paint and you have paintings and they're not really good enough to sell? Like, it's not like that kind of painting. But what do you do with them? A few of them we've hung up, but when we were packing, a couple of them got ripped. And it's like, okay, whatever. Like, it is what it is. I mean, it was a special painting. Like, we enjoyed having that painting. It was a nice painting. So I took pictures of them. I'm like, well, maybe I can get prints of them later to replace it. I probably won't. It'll just sit in my photo memories. But, it just, sometimes if we just take pictures of things so that they can sit in our memories, and there's so many things that you can have slideshows of pictures to pull back memories. They're so nice to pop up. Mm-hmm. But you have to wrestle with it because ultimately it's not going to go with you. It's not going to go to heaven. And ultimately that is where we're going. And that's what we want to store up. We want to store up the good things in our soul. And if you have so many things cluttered around that create memories that are taking you away from being able to fully be in Christ, and they're tying you down, that you are not available to follow his words and follow his teachings and be able to, I just think of like hoarders that just have so much stuff in their room, in their house, that they can't even allow people into their house. Like that's not following his words, because we should be loving and inviting to people. So if you have so much stuff that you can't follow Christ, then it's too much.
Sure. And we definitely live in a stuff-focused world right now. So we're not supposed to store up our treasure. It's not supposed to be things. Mm-hmm. It's not supposed to be stuff. So I feel like we've kind of talked about how that practically looks in our home.
Yeah.
But if we're thinking of how, just again, packing up the house this week, I kind of got overwhelmed in the garage.
And I got overwhelmed in the bedroom.
Right. But like I look at things like tools, Well, I don't want to get rid of tools because I will use them, but
Yeah.
obviously I don't use, a wrench every day.
Right. Not on a daily basis. Sure.
So if we're thinking of organization and some of these cleaning type hacks, so what systems do you think actually work for busy people? If we're talking about cleaning and organization.
I think the big thing is putting things away as soon as you get it. Like if it's not something that you want, if you don't have a place for it, then pitch it or donate it or something. If you don't have a place for it, if you don't know what to do with it, then either create something or get rid of it. I think to have a season, like every fall, we're going to go through this. We're going to go through our junk drawer, or we're going to go through the utensil drawer, we're going to go through the basement, or we're going to look at this in the attic, or having that routine of that season of where you're going to sort through things. Because my big thing when I was getting overwhelmed in the closet was we had these bins in the front of the closet of the things that we used, but I didn't even know what was behind it. Like I ended up clearing out our closet, throwing away most of the things because we had forgotten what was behind there. So I think for busy people, just setting aside a season, or that you're going to go through this item.
Sure. So we've talked about the idea of maybe having a schedule almost on decluttering. We've talked about the one-touch rule, the idea that if we pick it up, we don't just put it down, we put it away. What's one other small change you think that makes a real big difference when it comes to cleaning and decluttering?
I think having everybody in the household on the same page.
Right?
I don't know. Do you have something else?
No, I really don't. I think the put it away right away and kind of the season thing. Of course, I've listened to some of those podcasts from the minimalist type people.
Sure.
And I really kind of like the 2020 rule that most things in our home, because we all have that drawer, that bin, that toolbox, that closet of, but someday I'm going to need this.
Sure.
And that 2020 rule of the idea of that most of those things we can replace in 20 minutes for $20 or less.
Right.
Most of them. There's, and you see some of these funny videos on the internet of that dad that has that weird shaped piece of wood and he's had it in the garage for 35 years.
Right, just in case.
And he finally gets to use it. But I think kind of that idea that most of the things that we're holding on to just in case, they're not expensive and they're not hard to replace.
Sure. There's another rule too for your closet that if you haven't touched it in 30 days, then you probably don't need to wear it. Like I don't necessarily like that rule because in South Dakota we have very differing weathers here in the Midwest. So seasonal clothes get put away for 6 to 9 months.
Right. Well, this is probably the first time I've wore this shirt in 4 or 5 months.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's warm today.
Right. So I would say in a year, if you haven't worn that in a year, then absolutely it's time to get rid of it. And I also don't like to keep more, unless it's for a specific event, like a specific dress up outfit or dress down outfit, or like I have a couple sets of like pink clothes, which even then sometimes like, I don't need to keep hold of this. But I don't like having more than like 10 sets of clothes. Like we have a week's worth of clothes, and then past that, like, why? You're not going to wear it within a week. Why?
I don't know that I completely agree with that. I have a lot of clothes. Anyways, so can you think of something over the years that we've tried and it just didn't work?
I would say probably, so we have a chore schedule with our kids, and we tried to do like, all right, everybody's gonna sweep today. Every room is gonna be swept, and then every room is going to get like wiped down. Everything's gonna get dusted and wiped down on the next day, and then the windows are gonna get cleaned the next day. And even though everything was getting clean, it never felt like the house was clean.
Sure.
So by having a chore day, we have one day where the whole house is getting cleaned. And when the way I used to do it was just when our kids were much younger, me cleaning one room a day just constantly kind of kept the house in clean.
Right. Because if we just clean the windows but don't pick up the stuff on the floor of the house,
right?
Great, the window's clean, but the rest of the house is dirty.
Right. Yeah. So I would say that didn't work when we were trying to do that.
Sure. Now I know that we have not had this issue that I can think of. But could you see where it goes from I just want to keep it clean and organized to it becoming an obsession?
Oh, yeah, where you're so focused. I mean, we've had times where we argue because we have 5 kids and toys get played with, and they're all doing homeschool, so they all have books and devices out everywhere. And so the middle of the day can be a lot because everybody has their stuff out. And so we would have disagreements sometimes, because then he feels like we have too much stuff. Well, we also have 5 kids. So we have to show a leeway. So if you get so over the top where you can't even have things to function, you're not allowing, maybe you're not able to have pets in your home because you can't stand the dog hair or cat hair. Maybe you can't even have people over because they're going to possibly track mud. Like that becomes too much. Too much. You have to be willing to have a little bit of dirt and be willing to clean it up later. And have that grace.
Sure. So I think it's more important to have a peaceful home than a Pinterest perfect home.
Yeah.
So we've talked about kind of the treasures, storing up treasures on earth where they're going to get destroyed. We can't take them with us.
Right.
And storing up treasures in heaven. So I think it's fair to say that God cares far more about our hearts than our homes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, there's always a but. But our homes can reflect and support what's happening in our heart.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like what I said, that you would see Bible verses up on our walls. You would see crosses. You would see Bible studies left out, even though they were told to be put away. And things like that. Those are the things that you'll see in our home because that's what we're doing. That's what we're writing on our hearts.
Sure.
But if you're at peace, you're gonna feel at peace in your home too. Like our home is gonna be welcoming. If it's cluttered, like people don't want to come over either. So our home, by keeping our home picked up and cleaned, it's more welcoming for people to want to come over.
Sure. So if we had a challenge for our listeners today, what do you think that would be?
Pick one thing. That seems to be our theme. One thing. Just do one thing. Pick one bin, one area of your house that you haven't looked at in a while. Maybe it's the back of the closet. Maybe it's the junk drawer. Just this week, pick one and go through it and throw things away, or at least just sort them. Maybe things are in there that they shouldn't be.
And I don't even think it has to be like one space. Like, I mean, it could be a drawer. It could be your car.
Yeah.
I mean, if we need somewhere to start.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to be a whole room.
Or it could just be one thing, too. Like, we have a big issue with tape. Where did all the tape go? So maybe it's one thing that you're just noticing there are things everywhere. Or, even just pens. There's pens everywhere. Just go through your whole house and get them all in one spot and organize them, putting them in one pencil case and say, okay, every time I pick up a pen, they're going to go here.
Right. And I think the other thing is we kind of start maybe working on this cleanup, declutter, or whatever we want to call it. I think we have to continually ask ourselves, does this space reflect what I actually value?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and I think it's very important for us to remember that oftentimes the space we're in can shape our peace. And it can, and then once we have that peace, it really points our heart into what's important. So, hopefully, this has helped you a little bit with decluttering and cleaning. We didn't, we're not gonna say, you need to go out to they have actual stores that all that's in them is bins, right? So don't go to the bin store. I don't even know if that's a real place. I think it is, though. But you don't have to run out to the bin store tomorrow and spend hundreds of dollars to organize. Open the drawer that's already dirty.
Yeah.
And just clean it out.
Yeah.
And remember that 20/20 rule.
I would say one little tip. Don't go to your kid's bedroom and reorganize it while they're gone at camp because they get really mad. Should probably do that with them.
I have a funny story about my brother coming home from school one time and his bed was gone. But anyways, he still is bothered by all of that. But anyways, hopefully you've got one thing in mind after listening or watching this, that I am going to go work on this spot today.
Yeah, and hopefully through the stories that we told you, you know that we're not perfect either. At the moment, we do not have a junk drawer.
Well, that's because we dumped the junk drawer into a box and it's in storage.
But I mean, we have tape and pens all over the house that we can never find. We have this drawer thing over here, which I do not know what's in it other than one drawer is diapers. So we're not perfect either. It's a constant evaluation, and you just have to take it one season at a time.
And even being clean and organized ends up saving you money in the long run.
Yeah.
Because as I was cleaning the garage, I recognized how many tools I've bought over the years because I couldn't find the one I was looking for. And now I have 2 or 3, or I think I have like 13 hammers in the garage right now.
And packing tape.
Yeah, and there's packing tape out there
too.
The
tape is everywhere.
It is. So hopefully you've enjoyed this today. Hopefully you got something out of it. Hopefully you're going to be able to go find that one space to start working on today. But in the meantime,
make sure you like and subscribe. Share our podcast so we can get the word out there. Visit our website, firesidecommunity.org. All of our podcasts are listed on there, so you can easily find them by topic if you'd like. And our merch is also on there, which I'm sporting right now. So we got that on there, and 100% of the proceeds of all of our merch goes straight to firesidecommunity.org. We are moving out. We have some interesting things that are in the mix of options. So hopefully next week when we do our podcast, we'll kind of be able to let you know where we're moving to. Right now we don't know. We're just packing up the storage unit and getting out of the house. So yeah.
Because we do have 5 kids and we have to clean this place up before we can sell it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. We'll see you next week.